Hi everyone, welcome back to David at Go to Hobbies. A subject I normally keep away from: the royal family. Now, where do I start? Do I start at face value, or do I go back in history? I think I'll start at face value. Now, Prince Andrew, he's either very naive or very stupid. You know what I'm talking about. Is he a Freemason? And you'll think, what's that got to do with it? Think about it. Secret society? Anyway, just a thought. My point is this, right? I think it's almost like an episode of a soap opera, watching the royal family, because you've got all these sinister characters. And when the Queen was alive, right? Let's rephrase this. When I was a kid, my mum and dad took me down to Buckingham Palace to see the changing of the guard. It is something very British, very patriotic, and something very nice to experience as a child. And I remember that as a kid. It is something that I grew up with in my memory. But the whole point is, that was then, but it's not now. We had the Queen Mother alive, right? And we had Queen Elizabeth alive. May their souls rest in peace. They were a different breed of person, right? I just feel now we've got Charlie Boy in charge, a king by name, but not by nature. And as for Camilla, I do not like her. I've never have done. And I'll tell you how I feel. You might not like this. When you start seeing what's going on in the royal family, and we mustn't say anything. Well, let's just put it this way, give you an outset and look over it. And that is, they are supposed to be impeccable characters, no faults, and a shining example of what British royal family is. There's more scandals, there's more seeded sex and God knows what else, rumours, implications. You know, I know, but it's not talked about. It's taboo, isn't it? We're supposed to have a royal family that is supposed to be an example to the rest of the world. I'm sorry, but it's not like when Queen Elizabeth was alive and the Queen Mother and Diana, Princess Diana. She was more a princess than any of the people in the royal family, women. She was a people's person. She was okay. She had faults like anyone, but I've got a very, very long memory, and I remember a person telling me what went on behind closed doors. I don't really talk about it, but all I'm gonna say is I was really surprised that he did that, right? I'm not naming who. And I'll tell you what I do believe. I believe Princess Diana was murdered. That's my own personal feelings. That's how I believe it to be. And when Prince Charles said he would not marry Camilla and she would never be queen. Now look, it's a frigging mess. They're not even bloody British. They're not English. They're... it makes my blood boil. Look up the royal family in this country. Do your research. Find out what they did. What they changed their name from to the name to Windsor. Yeah? They're not British. You think the royal family's British? Not in one cat in the hell chance they are. It is a complete show. And this with Prince Andrew. He's a disgrace of a man. An utter disgrace. An embarrassment to the royal family. I just feel that we don't have a royal family. They are just a load of flipping people that are supposed to be impeccable. I mean, Prince Charles, Jesus whipped. One hand saying to me he should dissolve government. He should have more authority and be a king. And what we got? We got a bloody wimp of a bloke. You might not like me calling him a wimp. And he probably wouldn't like that either. But this is how he makes me feel. If you're going to be a king of a country, then at least bloody act like a king and do what's supposed to be done and keep the government of your country in check. Well, that's a flipping joke, isn't it? So we've got a royal family like a flipping soap opera. We've got a flipping government like head of dictatorship, and it's just like Stalin Starmer, with all the MPs that have fiddled the expenses, and that will never go away. They can't be bloody trusted. So if you've got that concoction, the head of the country, the royal family, you've got the government, and then you've got the police force that are supposed to be a shining example of good characters. What a load of BS. So you wonder why there's no respect in this country. I'm not bloody surprised. We're supposed to be English. We're not like a bleeding Russia or North Korea or Iran. Do you know what? President Trump has got more going for him than the British people, British government. I said it before and I'll say it again. We need Donald Trump in charge of the UK. You might not like it, but it's true. At least he'd get this country back on its feet. At least he'd get these immigrants out of the country, and all these families that have come in because the relatives and everything else. No wonder we're swimming alive with foreigners in this country, because there's not only one just coming. Oh no, you can bring Tom, Dick, Harry, every person under the alphabet in there. So you got the person that wants asylum, then they can bring the families in, they can bring the uncles, the aunties, cousins, nephews, and before long one person brings 1,000 people in. I am absolutely flabbergasted what a walkover this country is, because our government are a load of spineless bastards that have put their own interests and the European Union first. Why? Because they don't give a frigging toss about you or me. So what can we do about it? Honestly, I don't bloody know. It's got to such a degree of what a frigging mess, innit? There's no way other you can describe it. It's a frigging mess. It's almost like, I'll use a comparison. It's almost like going to battle with Russia. You need the resources. You need the manpower. You need the equipment. You need the morale. You need a strategy. And you need the nation behind you. In one respect, we know what we'd be fighting with Putin. But what we've got as a government is a different ballgame. It's almost like punching water. It's almost like having them as accountable as air. And how can you control something that is nothing there? How can you hold something when it's water and it just runs through your hands? That is what the government's like. I know I've covered a lot in this video, but that's how it makes you feel when you've got a weak, spineless government, and you've got a king and the royal family that are not behaving like a royal family. They're acting like a flipping soap opera. What does that tell you about our nation? At least the Queen had more respect than any of what they've got in now. I can understand what Prince William and Prince Harry, what they went through. And as dare say, as things they haven't told us. I do feel for those boys. I really do. I remember when they were young lads and they lost their mum. You know, that was not right. Anyway, enough said about that. So, where does this leave us? Well, we've got a royal family like a flipping soap opera. And we've got a flipping government like a bag of piss. Stinks, and as it gets older and older it gets off. And that as much use as they are, like a bag of piss. So, air your views. Let me know what you think. How would you describe the royal family? What do you think of the royal family? Am I right? Am I wrong? Please leave a comment down below about what I said. Also, this government. Do you agree with what I said? But we've got to come up with some sort of strategy, right, to get this country in order. It's all right. Call them all under the names under the sun, right? We've all done it. We know what we think about the royal family. We know what we think about the government, right? But what we need to do now is come up with a strategy to do something about this absolute shower of shit as a government. Because that's all they are, a shower of shit. You might not like it, but it's the truth. And on my channel I'll try and tell you the truth. I'm not bullshitting you. We have got the most hated Prime Minister in history. We've got a government that doesn't give a damn shite about any one of us. Your comments, please. Leave them down below. All I ask is you consider subscribing to the channel. The reason why I say that is because people like yourself want to know what to do, what other people say, how it makes you feel. Do you believe in what I said? Can you see what I'm saying? Does it resonate with you? Do you feel the same way as me? If you don't, let me know. But a lot of people I speak to through my days at work, when I'm off, when I'm at work, it all resonates how they feel, and the royal family and the government and what's happened to this country and the rest of our fellow English people. I just feel that, excuse me, there's a lot more to be said. If you want this truth, a lot more. So thank you for watching. I've talked too much, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.